Morning, everybody. I did a little video this morning. Don't even know what about, other than my body, my choice. Unless you're in the wrong group, or you're wanting to choose for yourself for the wrong choices. We know what we're talking about, right? All right. You you don't get the magic juice, you're not gonna can't travel. If you don't get the magic juice, you know what I'm talking about. But now with this new Roe v. Wade thing, what about the baby's body? The baby's choice. It is a body. I mean, it may only be once that spark of life, baby. And we can bake with you guys. But kind of the whole idea of my body, my choice. And then when I go, okay, I don't wanna do that. Oh well, no, you don't have a choice in that. No choice in that. Why would we give you that choice? That's stupid. Stupid. Now it's later than usual. Hi. I'm doing a show. What are you doing?
You're doing a show?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
I heard you talk.
Yeah, I'm just started.
Okay. Morning.
I'm 3 minutes in.
Okay.
Nobody's even on yet. Just got on there.
How did our plants last night?
They look good. They look good. Nobody got in any trouble.
Okay.
Everybody looks good. They got a good rain on them. Okay. You out of here? Now, Alan said, we're leaving. We're going out of town. I think next weekend. I think it's next weekend. But Alan's been talking about doing a marathon. He's done a few of those before. He's done a marathon. But anymore, honestly, anymore, I think we're singing to the choir now. You know, or preaching to the choir, whatever you want to call it. Because now I don't think at this point we're getting any new people on board at all. I think we're done. I think the lines have been drawn. The teams have been chosen. The end times draft, I think, is coming to a close. You got those people, and I saw a dude the other day. They are so fired up. They think all of this. Listen closely. They think all of this stuff that's happened in our history and everything is leading up to the return of Christ. Yeah, these people are excited. This looks like this is going to start the millennial reign. Really? You think this is going to start? Okay. 7, you are pain in my butt. Go away. Just a pain. Pain in the butt. Dogs. I threatened that dog last week. I was going to trade her in for a cat. And she knows I don't like cats. Right? I mean, these people are just like, they were eat up with it, man. They were like, this is obviously the biblical lead up to the end times of Christ return. This is it. Man, I think. Y'all know what I think. Let's say it again. I think. Like y'all do. Is it 70 years, 50, 70 years after Christ's resurrection? The tribulation starts, the rapture happens, and then there's Armageddon. There's Armageddon, man. Look, there's signs of Armageddon everywhere. I love all these archaeologists and all these researchers, and they're like, there was obviously a catastrophic event. Yeah, it's called Armageddon. It's called Armageddon. It already happened. Millennial reign of Christ is over. We're in the short season, baby. The short season is coming. It's here. It's on. It's been on. You know, one of their fatal flaws they made in this time passage they've tried to pull off on us is we're inherently, I think, by our soul, our spirit, good. You know, until we're born into this world of sin. But we know. Inherently, we have it in there. And I can't imagine right now any more people looking around and looking at our history and going, wow, there's been nothing but evil in our whole history. No good, no feel good stories of, wow, this country, you know what they did? They you know, they came together. They made a system that worked for everybody. Never been such a thing. Never been such a thing. Well, oh shit! I'm sorry, Baxter. Come on, buddy. Oh shit! Did you see that? He went to jump up just as he did, man. I lifted to scratch my head, elbowed him right in the head, got him right in the head. Then I made it. Oh, Baxter, boy. Oh, I know, buddy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You waited as long as you could, didn't you? You waited as long as you could. But you just couldn't wait no longer. You needed your booty scratched. Sorry, guys. This is, I usually do this before we start the shows. Thank you, Baxter. Thank you, Baxter. Usually do this before we start, so this doesn't happen. What are you doing, Baxter? What are you doing? Are we done? Are we good? Okay. Oh, thank you. Love you too, my buddy. That's a good dog, man. That's one of the best dogs ever. Ever, that dog. I'm trying to get him trained up where we sit here together and look out this door and he sees the squirrel before I open the door, so he's trained in on the squirrel. But it's teaching him to look through the door and see the squirrel. You know what I mean? Because he knows to look up in the tree. He stands and looks up in the tree. No, he's right there. Right there. It's fun. And man, when I let him out and I scream, squirrel, squirrel, he does flies. Boom, he gone. If anybody comes in and wants to talk, you see the links in the chat. But we've been told by the left, or we gotta quit. Right, I don't like right and left. I like dumb versus kind of common sense. I don't know. I'll think of something. But those people have been told us our whole life, hey, look, it's my body, it's my choice. I can do whatever I want. But then they want to arrest and put in jail people who do drugs. They want to, they want to control your body. They want to talk about they want to control the food that goes into your body. They don't want you to control that. They want to control the healthcare on your body. They don't want you to control that. But it's your body, it's your choice, as long as you make the right choices. That's the secret. Make the right choices. that they give you. What I think's funny is it's getting more and more where they not participating is becoming not an option. Yeah, you don't get that choice to not participate in this whole thing. You gotta get in here. Make a stand. You gotta say right, left, up, down. You gotta pick something instead of choosing to just step back and take care of yourself and not worry about the rest of it. My little my plants are going nuts. They're doing good. It won't be long. I'm gonna have tomatoes. Yep. I got some. Should have serrano peppers and bell peppers here about the same time with them. Oh. Yesterday, because I'm that way. I don't know if we can see it this way. It's okay. I got nothing else to do. I can do this. I got my little hydroponics thing set up yesterday. I'm doing a few more. Clones in there. I got my water deal set up. I don't know if that light's too bright. See, this thing actually will build into a 108 hole hydroponic tray. And I just set up one with 2 little rows of it to do some germinating in. I'll probably get some more pods out and start germinating some more tomatoes and different stuff. So I got something coming up behind when these that are coming in. I want to try and get this where I got stuff year round, because my indoor setup is good. It was when I when I set it up out there in the garage, it's going to be a good setup for winter, because I'll be able to heat it and keep it going year round. It'll be bueno. But I was sitting there yesterday and I was going to do some more clones, and I went, okay, I'm bored. I've germinated the other way, and I cloned the other fashion. Let's do this one. Let's see if we can germinate a clone in this one. Because when I was in Merkel, before we moved out here, I had that whole thing set up. I had herbs in it. I had basil and dill and oregano and all that. I was starting a bunch of plants in it, but I've never cloned a plant in it. I've always used dirt to do the cloning. We'll see. I got nothing but time and opportunity. Nothing. I was gonna think about playing golf today, but it rained last night. Yes, it did. It rained. And I had no idea it rained because I turned on rain sounds on my speaker. Oh, it's a pretty morning out, but rain good. Let's see if I can take the camera. Here's my peppers. They're doing well. There's my maters. There's 2 of the tomato plants. These 2 tomato plants here, that one and that one, ain't done so good. That's a lemon tree. It's got brand new growth on it. It's doing good. And then Here's some more. And some more peppers. Look at that big old dude right there. That's about ready. And here's all the new guys. Welcome to the world, fellas. Grow up and produce fruit so I can multiply. Where's our? Here's our other one. It was leaning over. It had so much rain on it. There's a big old bell pepper right there. Oh, we got lots of stuff. Here's two more tomato plants. Yeah, I'm growing in all different mediums. I'm trying different ways to get the stuff growing. Here's our Kathy wanted to do these rings. That one is full of that's gonna be squash, and I did an onion out there and an onion over there, and they didn't do too good. This one's doing, but that one's not. But I got other onions on the sides. This is watermelon. I think she said she planted watermelon and some green beans in there together. My watermelon doesn't taste like green beans, or my green beans taste like watermelon. I don't think she understands. Oh no, I guess you can plant stuff like that in there together, you know? Can you? It's pretty day up. Nice and cool. It sure doesn't feel like May. Mm. Oh. Oh.
Old one been fed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How's she sound? Better than you? Better than you?
Yeah, she sounds better than me.
How
There
you
you
doing,
go.
mamas?
I'm doing a live stream.
Okay.
That's okay. Oh jeez, what was I gonna say? What's up, bud? How are you this morning? Oh no. It's fun. It keeps me off the streets. What was I gonna say? I can't remember what I was gonna say. But yeah, the weather out here, for being May, still cool this morning. Let's see what the temperature is. Yeah, 63. The low is right now raining. Yeah, we had a good storm overnight, rolled through here. But yesterday, ta-da, I got the good news. I got the text from my lawyer. It says we did get judgment today in the amount of $181,693.62. Yay. The case is still open on approximately another $30,000. We're going to talk on Monday with a lawyer and see what it's going to take to get my check. I see what you did there, y'all. Raining. It's raining in there in Columbus, is it? No, it's raining, man. Raining. But the first answered prayer from the Lord on this thing is we got a judgment. And now, like most people might realize, hard part, collecting. You get the money. You got to collect. That's always the hard part. But this is almost 2 years that I started this lawsuit. The system sucks, man. Wow. And this case that I'm in right now has taught me one thing, that if you are crooked, the system works in your favor. There are more tools at your disposal if you're guilty than there are if you're a victim. Yeah. If you're a victim, you have very few tools at your disposal to get any kind of justice. And that's just the truth. The criminal, they have the simplest tool of all, and that's what this guy's done with us. Just ignore it. Subpoenas. They hand you a subpoena, serve you, throw it in trash. Okay. Morning, Ash.
Well, good morning, brother.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Head,
Knees
shoulders,
and
knees and
toes.
toes. Is that what we're doing this morning? Were you doing
Yeah,
your
man.
stretches?
Yeah,
How are-
man.
How are you today?
Oh, Finer and Frog here. What you talking about? What you got going on?
I'm just rapping, man. Just rapping.
You were rapping?
Man, he had his coffee this morning. I can tell. He all skippy.
He always skippy. Oh, it's nice out here this morning.
Actually, I did a double mind melt on myself last night because I knew we were going to have thunderstorms. So I played my sleep tones with healing frequency with rain and thunderstorm. So I never knew when and if it started raining last night. Me and No Baxter, we went right to sleep to those gentle rains. Woke up this morning and Kathy's like, "Oh my God, that thunder last night, man! The dogs jumped up." And I'm like, "What thunder?" I didn't hear it. I heard thunder from the time I started my tape, or the live stream.
Yeah. Is it still thundering?
No, it had stopped, and it stopped raining. When I got up this morning, I was like, "Baxter, let's go see if it rained." We have no idea.
Bax?
No Baxy, but it's cool out. I mean, it's weather.
Mm-hmm.
And now down here in Texas comes a heat wave.
Yeah, it's coming too. It's coming here too. We got one coming for sure. For sure.
And we got the worst air conditioner ever. That thing costs like $550 and it's garbage.
Hey, I saw an ad pop up on YouTube. If you hadn't seen it yet, then your algorithm is doing you a disservice. It's yeah, your algorithm doesn't like you. I was gonna look into it for Alan, but it starts out with, "Do you want to cool a whole room in 90 seconds?" And so it starts showing these early homemade air conditioners. People would take an ice chest and drill some holes in it, put ice in it, add a fan to it, and cool their room. They just rig these things up, make an air conditioner for themselves. Well, this company supposedly has come up with a little portable one, and the technology is supposed to be that, like, say this kitchen, it's 300, 400 square feet maybe. And that this little desktop will cool that whole room in like a minute or two.
Wow.
I think it's called Maxi or something like that. And it looked pretty cool. I was going to look into getting one for Alan for up in the loft.
Yeah.
He's got a portable AC, but it's too small for the room. So we have to cut off half the room, partition it. And then he has to open a window and put his vent out, for his discharge air. And, and then he has to dump a water bucket like twice a day because it's so humid out here.
Yeah.
Like a 5-gallon bucket there, and every day, twice a day, it makes 5 gallons.
Work. Oh, man.
I know how to cool a room in 2 seconds.
2.
Yeah, just tell your wife to relax.
I was fixing to say, tell your wife, chill, lady. You'll get a chill. There's your chill.
That's horrible. That's so funny.
That's your chill, buddy.
Tell your wife to relax. What you been studying? What you been into? What you doing?
For me, I have taken a new leaf.
Oh yeah.
I'm turning over a new leaf. I've said it enough, and now I'm gonna follow up on it. I'm done with this mess. I'm done with it. There's nothing new. I'm not gonna find out anything new. I'm not gonna see anything new that's gonna change anything for me now. I know what things are. I know where we stand. All I can do is people like y'all. I don't think we're getting any more people on the team. I don't think we're getting any new members. I don't think, I think the lines have been drawn. People go the way they go. They're going to convince anybody else. They are where they are. And now this whole thing, hold on, let me finish. Now, if this whole Roe v. Wade thing comes over, we know that there's going to be trouble from that. There's going to be trouble from these people. I'm just staying in my lane. I'm going to deal with my people. I'm going to deal with my things that make my world go around. And I'm just going to stay buffered from all of it. I ain't gonna worry about any other stress about it anymore. I'm done. I've seen every report. I've seen every stinking, crooked politicians, evidence against them, CEO, corporations. I've seen it. I know. And,
hey, Tommy.
Yeah.
And aspire to live quietly and to mind your own affairs and to work with your hands as we instructed you, so that you may walk properly before outsiders and be dependent on no one.
Right.
Oh,
That's it.
It's been a great learning experience, going down all these rabbit holes, finding a new nugget every day, just about. But now it's come to a point, like I've said 1,000 times, we have the evidence. If we can't indict, then let's just move on, because sitting there spinning our wheels with all this information and nobody's listening. They don't care.
It's interesting because I too had reached a point where I realized either you're chosen or you're not.
Right.
That's it.
Either
you're chosen or you're not. And as long as I'm always, talking about this kind of stuff and trying to share the things that I know, if they don't want to listen, whatever, I go on my way. But if it sparks interest, you'll know, because that person will become a studier, and then that's cool, but to sit here and how many flat earth videos do I need to watch? How many mud flood videos? How many videos on Freemasonry and all this stuff? How many do I need to see? I already know it. It's legit. Right. I'm with you.
Right. For me, hearing this one stat again the other day kind of sealed it for me, and it came out 5 or 6 years ago, or longer. It might have been longer, maybe 10 years ago. The fact that every president up to Trump were related, and that makes zero ripples anywhere. Mm-hmm. You would have thought that would have swept across America, and people would have gone, "What? How what? You tricked us like that? How did you pull that shit off?" Oh, and answers. Nope. Just kind of went. Yeah. Obama and Trump are cousins. They're seventh cousins. On his grandparent side. What? And nobody cared. So what? Right. So what? No big deal.
I know there's so much empirical evidence out there. I mean, just in their signs and symbols, like Confucius said, signs and symbols rule the world. Well, you can show it. You can show, the IRS building in Maryland has a black pyramid with a white top and two hands on pedestals on each side of it, and you can show them all this stuff. We were just looking at Jordy Rose and his he's heading up. It's 7 years in the making now. He headed up this company called Kindred.
Yeah,
which is what's that? Yeah, right. He wants to make robots where you can't even tell the difference between a human and a robot. And if you look at the Kindred logo, it's exactly the same thing as the NASA picture of the black hole, and that's exactly what it is. Or it's also the Ouroboros, the snake eating the head. It also looks like that too. You know what I mean? And you can't make this stuff up. You show people this stuff, and they just, it's all a coincidence. Well, you're not seeing the big picture.
Yeah, I think it's time to just fortify our communities, solidify our positions, and so everybody's on the same page. And like you said, just live a humble life and be an example. And if anybody can look at your life and go, "Wait a minute, what are you doing?" Then something's wrong. Otherwise, we ought to, as Christians, following the word, stand on the narrow path. And it's been that way for me and my wife for the last 10 years. Just kind of buffered. Just kind of, if we have tough times, they're little bumps. They're not big bumps. No devastations. No tragedies. Normal, adaptable problems. No problem. And that's it. I feel like we got this buffer zone. And as long as we do our due diligence and we stick with the word and stay on the narrow path, it's going to be fine.
That's right.
I'm just tired of every day, you can read something or watch a video and I'm just like, okay, I'm done. I got enough. I've got enough.
Right.
No more need. Just, like Alan says, we just stick with the word and truth is on our side and we just watch this thing play out, and do our best to help people along the way and keep our people safe, keep the word safe, keep a positive community alive.
It's really interesting how folks are just blown away. Ashley and I, when we're out, we just show kindness everywhere we go. Yeah. And people are blown away by it. Like they can't, they see the difference in us. We just had an incident the other day where I didn't really cut this lady off. I swear I didn't.
I didn't.
I think she hit the gas when she saw that I was going to turn in front of her.
Right.
But then she pulled into the same parking lot we did, and I stopped in the middle of the parking lot because we never been there before, and I wasn't sure what was going on. And she honks at me and then calls me a name. And
Is she waving at you?
She honked at it. She honked at it and said, "Idiot!" real loud out the window.
And so when we got out of the car, I was walking up to her, and I was gonna give her what for, not in a mean way, but then I ended up just walking up to her, and I said, "You know what? I'm really sorry I did that to you." I said, "We hadn't been here before, and I stopped. I wasn't considering anybody behind me. I was just trying to figure out where we were, but I apologize. I'm sorry about that." She was blown away.
Yeah.
She was like, "No, nobody does that.
She's ready for a confrontation, man. She's ready."
Right. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, they're always ready to fight. They're never ready to forgive. Everybody wants them ready to fight.
Yeah.
Right, but she did forgive. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Instead of us, or instead of Jason going.
You do not forgive if you have an ounce of humanity when somebody walks up and goes, "Look, I'm
right."
Really
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
if you've got something, you go, "Oh, okay, good." How about
A lot of us.
I think the mom's on there.
I don't know if she's on there, but I know she's there. Boom. I know that some, with the some, we won't even approach the person and say sorry or whatnot, because the woman that Jason approached, she was a butchy looking woman. She had a scowl on her face, you know what I'm saying? And Jason walked up to her like it was no problem, but that's really a lot of us with the boldness. We need to be bolder, just because this person's got a scald on their face, I know I walked around for years with my face. Everyone said I looked mad, all the time. And sometimes I wasn't mad, but apparently I was mad all the time. But I could be nice if you walked up to me and, talked to me, sort of. But it is. It's
off in the first sentence.
That's about right. Yeah, I used to. It didn't take much, boy. I walked around with a chip on my shoulder. But the boldness, we should have more boldness with kindness. We should have more boldness with the kindness, with the love, with showing it. No matter what the other person looks like, how they're acting, whatever, we should show the love, the kindness, because it can stop a sassy moment in 2.5 seconds.
Right. Well, yeah, I hate telling these stories, but it's the
Don't
only way
hate
to show the point. But the Wednesday, one of the grand jurors texted everybody that she's bringing kolaches. She's gonna bring kolaches for breakfast for everybody. And okay, well, knowing this, I think I'm gonna stop at Sonic, get me a drink before I go up there. And when I'm going through the line in Sonic, I'm like, okay. So I give the lady a 20 and I said, take the change and pay for people behind me. This is the second or third time that these people don't even get that concept. She's like, do what? I said, just pay for mine out of that 20. Keep that change. Pay everybody behind me until it's all gone. And tell them have a blessed day. And she starts changing my money and she's counting it. And she pulls off a couple of receipts and she's looking at them and she's like, you want me to pay for all the other ones with this money? I mean, she was totally confused. And I'm like, yes. So you understand? And she just counted the money out and it's laying there. And she's got a couple of receipts and she's like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I'm just like, wow. Total, I'm just
no understanding of a pay it forward.
Right. Just none. And me and Kathy went to a Mexican restaurant the other day, and we're standing there waiting to be seated. So a black dude comes up to the counter, and he says, we have a to-go order. And he tells her the name. And she says, oh, okay, yeah. Has the receipt there, and she says, 14 something. And he's like, reaches in his pocket, pulls out $1. Puts $1 up. She looks at it. I'm standing back there with Kathy. I'm watching her and watching him, and she's like, it's $14. And he goes, well, I didn't know I was coming here, so I didn't bring my money. And she's just staring at me. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't have any idea what to do or say. And I just pull out my wallet, and I give her a 20, and I said, there you go. Go ahead and pay for it. And she's like, what? I said, you obviously don't have any money. Go ahead and pay for it. She's like, well, okay. And she was confused. And when we left, I stopped and asked her, I said, what were you going to do with that little boy that only had $1? And she was like, I don't know. She didn't know. I was like, would you have called the manager and went, look, this dude ain't got any money. He's got $1. You know, were you going to just go, okay, forget it. Don't worry about it. What were you going to do? She didn't have any idea. She was totally, she was stunned. I could see the look in her eyes when the kid just handed her $1.
Yes.
It was lost.
Stunned.
So, you know, that's kind of where we live in.
No, you're right.
Have no concept of compassion or giving or selflessness. They don't understand selflessness.
Charity, you know, I think it's in Philippians.
Stuff. Why would you buy their stuff?
Yeah. Philippians or Colossians, it says that charity is the bond of perfectness. I think it's in Colossians. Charity is the bond of perfectness because you're just letting go of that stuff. You're letting go. You know your father's going to provide for you. You might have a whole house full of stuff right now, and in 10 years, you've got a totally different house full of stuff. You know, you might have your favorite object that you've had for years. All of a sudden, it's gone, and then you'll get another one, you know, a few years later. You might have $20 in your pocket today, and tomorrow you've only got $1, or tomorrow you've got $400 in your pocket. Like, things come and go. And charity is the bond of perfectness. You let go of that stuff. You believe and know that your holy creator has got you, you know, then just give it. Give everything you got. He will provide for you. You will get more back.
Last week.
It's interesting about giving, you know, money and stuff like that. I was just reading a book written by Nietzsche, and you know, and the story goes that you know, so the dude, it's called oh, I forgot. Anyways, but anyways, this dude comes. He spends 10 years by himself up in the mountains, and he's coming down the mountain to bring the knowledge that he's gained by being, you know, by himself back to the people. And he crosses the path of a wise of an old man that's going up the mountain, and the old man is telling him that, you know, well, you know, make sure that you give alms, and you know, to people, and he says, am I so poor as to give alms? And it was just it was such a really cool thing when you think about it, because, you know, we're so rich in our knowledge, we're so rich in what the Lord has taught us in our lives, and he says, am I so poor as to give alms? You know, like, money is nothing, I have so much more to give, you know. And I thought that was really cool, you know. It's very
last week we got our tax assessment, and we just bought this house last June, and we get the tax assessment, and they've assessed it $65,000 more than what we paid for it, right? And we're like, what? So I have to get all our paperwork together. I have to hunt down the appraisal. I have to go up there and prove that this house is not worth that. And so I get my stuff up there, and I'm about to leave. And I remembered Kathy was filling out the form, and she went, oh, disabled. And I said, well, I'm on Social Security disability, check it. And so she checked the box. Well, we just turned the form in. Well, I just happened to ask them, what's that? She checked that box. What's the deal with that? And she goes, well, have you filled out a Social Security property tax exemption form? You know, disability exemption form. I said, never heard of one. And she goes, do you have your letter of verification for disability? I said, never heard of one. And she's like, well, let me take you through this. She took me out, got me everything I needed. I called Social Security office. They're sending me one. And just little things like that, going to get a huge tax break. And I didn't, you know, I had no idea that I had that available to me. And something, what was it? I don't know. Made me say, hey, I think that was checked on there. Because if it doesn't, are they going to call me and go, you checked, you know, disabled on here. We need your information. I don't know. Right. I don't know. I'd never had this status before. Right. That I could actually check that box. And so going forward, that box is almost on everything.
Huh.
Interesting. You know what else? If you can file for property tax exemption, what does that tell you about property tax?
I'm doing homesteading and every exemption I can get.
But what I'm saying is property tax generally is a fraud anyways.
Oh, sure.
Because what they're doing is they're operating under the assumption that you have a commercial property.
Something, right? They're giving you status.
When in actuality, you have a private domicile.
Yeah. Well, I heard a guy in there while I'm in there. That's the problem. He's like, hey, you know, I came in here a couple of years ago. Y'all said, I can hear him talking clear as a bell. You know, I come in here, y'all said, you know, these property taxes be frozen because of our, you know, this and this. And he says, I got this year and it's not, you know, you're taxing me here and here and here. And the guy goes, oh, he goes, well, this and this, they'll be frozen, but the rest of them, they're going to change. And the guy's just like, you didn't tell me that. What are you talking about? You never said that. You said my tax right here, boom, this number was going to be frozen at that level for, I think he said 8 to 10 years. And the guy goes, well, no, just these will be, not the rest of them. And the guy's just livid. He's like, well, I can't pay that. He said, we're on fixed income. What are you doing? And the guy's just going, well, sir, I'm sorry. You know, you can appeal, but you have to pay these. And that's just, you're like, wow.
Yeah, it's interesting. You ever watch Brandon Sibley, Big Sib?
Yeah.
Well, he just, they just, him and oh, I forgot his buddy's name, but they just came out with a property tax one, and you should check it out because they show you how in the codes, the state codes on property taxes, that all these taxes that they're trying to do for property and stuff, it's under a commercial assumption,
right?
You know, and yeah, so it's very interesting that
they play those tricks on us, man. They
right,
play
right.
those tricks on us, hoping, knowing that the majority won't do anything. Just pay it.
Right, they'll just pay it. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's the beauty of their system. They get very little friction, and when they
Okay.
do, it's go away.
Well, it's interesting because Brandon said that, basically the whole system runs on what's called a simulated legal process.
Right.
Well, if it's simulated, it's not real.
Not real.
So,
it's the house of cards, a structure. They said this is stable. Do it this way.
Right. And so what he's trying to show, his new teachings are on due process, and that everything has to be under due process of law and not simulated legal process. And it's really interesting. Like, for example, I don't have a registration on my car, right? Because I don't agree with the registration contract. I have my driver's license because I need to operate in commerce and I need to have valid ID to do that. And I have insurance because I want to honor anybody if I cause something, or if I hurt somebody's property, I want to be able to pay for that, But I don't agree with the registration contract. Now, if I get pulled over,
it's a rental agreement. They're making you rent your vehicle every year. You have to pay your rent, or you can't drive your vehicle. Pay your rent.
Right. So, say I get pulled over, and I don't want to speak word curse over myself, but it's pretty likely that the cop's going to hand me a ticket, and then he's gonna grand theft auto my vehicle, illegal search and seizure, or unlawful search and seizure, and he's going to tow it off. But that's simulated legal process. It's not due process. Due process, he needs to file a complaint against me through the court, and then the court needs to send me a notice, and it has to be it needs to be handed to me, and then I have 90 days to get my papers and effects in order to go to court on it. Now, see, that's an honorable system, right? They have a grievance. They file it, and then I have 90 days. But instead, what's dishonorable is he's going to hand me a grievance and then take it right away. But that's not.
You're guilty. You're guilty on the spot.
Right, and that's not due process. That's simulated legal process.
Yeah, you're just automatically guilty. Here, take this and admit your guilt, and let's move on. It's just a little fine. No, it's more than just a little fine. It's principle. Right. It's freedom. It's a lot of things, but a little fine is not what it boils down to. It's all of this is so much more. When I learned a long time ago about every situation in your life is basically a contract between me and you. If I'm coming in your business, me and you have a contract here, and we're dealing with each other. And when a cop pulls up, if he wants a contract with me, one of the funniest things I ever saw, and I think Big Sib had a deal on it too, is a guy who has a little index card printed out that says, hey, if you're taking up my time, I am worth this much an hour, and I want to be paid in silver or gold. And once you start this conversation, you're on the clock. You're going to owe me money for my time. Do you really want to do this?
Yeah, I handed a sheriff that little card, and I got put in jail.
Did you have one? Did you go for that?
Yeah.
It didn't work. Yeah.
It didn't work.
Dude, but they could. But they could not. Jason coming here, it was the first time that I have seen this happen. He is talking about all this stuff, and I was like, man, I don't know, about freedom and against the system and this and that. And then the ninja gets pulled over, and they take him to jail. And Jason told him, you know, he didn't answer the questions. He didn't say his name, nothing like that. He didn't sign no papers. He wouldn't even tell him their address, nothing. Tell him his address. And he kept, you can only hold me for 72 hours. You have to let me go. And they had him handcuffed in one of the little holding cells, you know. Had him
handcuffed to the wall, baby.
had him handcuffed to the wall, and told him they were going to keep him for 3 days. I mean, told him they were going to keep him. He said, you can only hold me for 72 hours. And the guy come over there and he said, no, I'm going to keep you longer than that, you know. And then he had to come back. The cop had to come back and tell Jason, oh, we have to let you go.
We're keeping you as long as we want, son.
Right, we're going to put you under the jail. That cop even told Jason, he said, this is Tennessee, son. You know, when he tried to hit his head, I know.
We don't
So
play
funny.
that shit here, boy.
Yeah. Better go back where you come from. No.
That's funny. That's funny. When I saw that card, you know, the little deal I saw about the guy, he hadn't had an encounter as far as I knew. He just had this card with him, was willing to present it, you know, at first chance. But now I know Jason did present one, and it don't work so great. Yeah.
No, it didn't work out that great. But
Yeah,
I didn't know as much as I know now either.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, I just kept telling him. I said, look, you're trying to contract with me right now.
Yeah.
And I need to know who you are. So you need to fill out your personal information on here. I said, you want my personal information. So for the contract, well, I need your personal information for the contract too.
Let's
You know,
start
he didn't
out.
like
What is
that.
this? Yeah, what are the parameters of this contract? What are we talking about here? What do you want in this
He
contract?
didn't like that. And then he wanted my driver's license. And I was like, what crime did I commit? You know, and he said, well, you crossed over a double yellow. I said, is that a crime? I said, show me the corpus delicti, you know.
You smart ass.
He didn't like any of that. And he told me, we're going to get your driver's license.
Boy, we're going to get what we want.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to call another buddy over here. We're going to get that license. And they sure did, boy. They jerked me out of that car, put me in handcuffs, unlawfully search seizured me, took my vehicle. They grand theft auto'd me. They kidnapped me.
Right.
All that stuff, man.
Now,
And then
at no point did you hear one mutter, he sure got a purty mouth.
but it's really interesting, right? Because this was during the whole, you know, you got to wear masks in the courtrooms and all that stuff.
Right.
And so, you know, so I went to court for it. I did pretty well, but I still had to appeal. And
he got the judge to lie to him.
Yeah, the judge lied to me.
And he called him out on his lie.
Yeah, I called him out on
in court.
in court. But they wanted me to pay a $500 bond to appeal the General Sessions Court ruling. And I was like, look, man, I'm like, y'all invited me to dinner, you know. Yeah, so I said, well, I'm going to go back home and research this. So I went home and I found the appeal papers online, filled them out, brought them into the clerk, and I was able to appeal. I didn't have to pay $500 to appeal. It was free because I have the right to be heard. It's a constitutional right to be heard. And
they steer you into this line here. Go over here. This is where you're going. Just follow that process now. And they want you to fill out $500, fill out all the paperwork again. They just follow along, little sheep. Follow along.
Well, the $500 is an administration fee. So if I do all the work, there's no administration. Yeah. And so I went to court, and when I showed up, I had a fee schedule for the sheriff that violated all my rights. It came out to $750,000 when all was said and done.
Nice.
And I got that off the UCC violations and stuff. So all the figures were correct. But the judge wouldn't see me because I wouldn't wear a mask, and she wouldn't give me And I said, look, I said, then I need a letter from the judge saying that she won't see me because I won't wear a mask. Well, they wouldn't give me a letter because they're not going to be, they're not going to hold themselves liable.
Right.
But the interesting thing is I actually had 2 traffic violations, and that was one of them, and then I had another one, and both times they wouldn't see me because I wouldn't wear a mask, nor would they give me a letter. But I'll tell you this: it was about a year ago that happened, and in between that year, I cut up my driver's license. I decided I'm not going to use it. But then I realized, well, I need an ID to have affidavits notarized and such.
Right.
And I was like, dang it, I need a license at least to operate in commerce. So I went and got my license. Now, as well as I do, you don't show up for a court appearance. Now you got a warrant, and I had 2 court appearances, and I went and got my license. I got no warrants on my record because I filed affidavits with the court.
There you go.
So they didn't see him.
Right. But the thing is I don't even, if I did an affidavit, I don't actually have to be in court because an unrebutted affidavit stands as truth in the court of law.
So they respond.
And it also stands as the judgment. So so I didn't even need to be there, and and none of those things came to anything. No warrants, no nothing.
Ain't showed up to pick him up, nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they, being in that grand jury, a lot of the things we're doing happened 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Year and a half, 2 years ago. Very seldom do we get anything that's been in the last 6 months. It's weird. That's a long process, man. That's a long process to be dangling out there in the wind, not knowing, what's going to happen. And then now, once we're done, they get a warrant put out and they get arrested and they get served. You're being indicted. So that's a terrible system.
Well, the other thing too is that we have the right to a speedy trial.
Yeah, that's not very speedy.
No.
My whole process has not been speedy at all.
No.
It's terrible. And I told my lawyer that once already, and I'm gonna let him know on Monday too that I don't appreciate his lack of persistence on our part.
Due diligence.
Well, he's just sitting back waiting, fielding. He's not going out and pushing. He just file something and sit back and wait. Don't make no phone calls. Don't go, hey, where's this process at? Nothing. Just sit and wait. Months and months go by and we're like, dude, what the hell? Well, waiting on a response. At what point do you go to a judge and go, look, we've put out 5 different subpoenas to these people and we've got 0 responses? What point can you walk up and the judge go, agreed, boom, done?
Right.
It's ridiculous. This guy can't keep being a no-show and no communicado. You gotta face your accusers at some point. And it seems like in this system, you don't. If you choose not to face your accusers, so far 2 years in, he hasn't had to.
Wow.
He hasn't had to come before a judge. There was 2 other small claims court cases they got against the guy. Same guy, 10,000 on one, 8,000 on another. He never showed for either one of them. Got served on both of them. Documented he was served, and he just didn't show up. Just forget it. He didn't get a lawyer till over a year in. He just kept ignoring subpoenas. Finally, he got some lawyer that looked like he talked a friend or somebody that knew a lawyer friend into doing some basic paperwork, just saying, I don't agree with any of that. It's all lies. I don't know anything. And that was it. Never produced a bank record, never produced a phone record, never produced one item. And it's been
on the opposite end of that. My first year of business, I had a guy that sued me, saying that I did I used to be in hardwood flooring, saying that I messed up his floors, which I didn't. They were beautiful. But he brought me to court. He didn't have anything. He didn't bring pictures. He didn't bring witnesses.
Bad.
Huh?
He just showed up when it's bad. I don't like it. He did a terrible job with no proof. Oh, you're frozen. Oh, you're gone. Lost you. Oh, we lost Ashley and Jason. How long is this? Hour in? There they are. They're back. There you are.
Ashley hung up on him.
I did.
But he didn't bring witnesses. He didn't bring anything. Just accusations, and he
Just
won.
saying.
And he won. Yeah, and then I appealed it, and I came back. I had letters from all my contractors saying that I do a really good job, saying that you know, that if I did mess something up, I'd come back and fix it right away. All that stuff, had all this proof that I was a
Right.
legitimate, good flooring company and all that. And again, he came with nothing. He had nothing. He didn't even have my bill. He had
Right.
nothing, and he won again.
I don't understand how somebody wins after they paid the bill and you left and they hadn't said anything.
Dude, I had pictures of his floor too. I had pictures of all the floors in the house and everything, and it all was beautiful. And all he said was, "Well, you know that a floor can look good in a picture." And he won again. That was it. That was his defense.
Wow. Well, I hate to hear that, but it is a terrible system. It really is. This guy's just been able to ignore. And what we're hoping is we get these cases, all these judgments against him, and we're going to the DA and get felony charges filed against him.
Yeah.
Embezzlement and wire fraud and lots of stuff. Lots of stuff.
Right.
It's not over.
Not over yet.
No way, man. It's not even close to over. But me and my partners, we're gonna see this dude come to justice one way or the other.
Right on. So when
And
are we gonna have a homestead community?
Hey, man, me and Kathy, we're flying this coop in about 2 years, and when we do that, she was talking about we've been wanting to get closer to Madison and the grandbaby, and we're talking about Oklahoma, but then like 2 years ago, she was looking at a job in Springfield, Missouri, and she looks at Springfield and she says, "No, I don't want to live out there." And then the other day she goes, "Hey, this person that she's a good contact to her, she's worked with in the past, has this agency in Springfield, Missouri, and when she gets done, she may go work with that lady." And I'm like, Springfield, Missouri, you're bringing that up again. You were like, I don't live there now all of a sudden. And so we're kicking it around. We're definitely wanting to get in a position where if people aren't on the same plots, that we're not far from each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And by not far, I mean 2 to 3 hours. If you can get to each other in 2 or 3 hours, if you can come together in those times, that's not too bad. I can live with that.
Do y'all plan on having a farm?
What?
You plan on farming? Y'all plan on farming, building your own house? What you doing?
Oh gosh, yeah. We'll buy some land and put something up on it, and yeah, we'll do the whole off-grid thing as much as we can. I'm hoping that by that time there's been enough pressure that you can, with solar panel systems, that there's a system out there that can bump up home grid with like a Tesla product that they're going to let out that'll bump up your power grid for you. You know what I'm saying?
You really want something from that company?
Not from Tesla. I'm saying a Tesla product, a free energy machine like Tesla.
Okay, I got you. Not specifically from him.
That you can couple to a solar system or something that'll bump up your amp load. And I know it's out there. They just won't let it out.
Right.
They just won't let it out. You know,
We should just make our own. We should just make our
Uh,
own.
Did you see the guy that had a drone and he put a copper wire on it? You know what I'm talking about? And he had these little metal I think they were copper, like I don't know, just like little panels. And he set the drone up in the air with the copper wire coming down to the ground. He grounded it and he put it on these little motors, and he was able to get static energy out of it.
Right.
And yeah, it was real cool, man. There's another guy that he did the same thing, but he did it with he just kind of created this rectangular a copper thing, and it had copper bars going through, and he put it up in the air, and he was able to show that you can get electricity right out of the air.
Right.
Right. And and that's what these mud flooders are always talking about the the pinnacles of buildings and stuff being a source of energy.
Right.
Somehow mercury's like red mercury or something's brought into that, probably to what do you call it? See, I'm not technically, I'm a wood guy. I'm not a energy guy, but to convert that energy into usable energy.
From what I understand, that red mercury is charged and it's used as the initiator, the switch, and it's micro voltage, and it just is a step up system where you can start with that red mercury that has a charge, and you can step up system type of thing that transforms microvolts into millivolts into volts, and then bam, you got electricity. And I think that was the secret to that red mercury, that it was the initiator, that it didn't have to be plugged into anything, that red mercury carried enough millivolts that it would start the process.
Right. Yeah, that's what they were saying, was like, they had these, so you got the pinnacle, and then it comes down, and then you have like some kind of glass base, or some kind of containment system, and then the mercury would be in there, and it would start whirling around like that, and it would generate more electricity. Yeah, man, I would love to play with that, once we get our own land. See what we can do with that,
because
that'd be cool.
I don't see any reason, like Alan's talked about, supposedly in physics, if you take a water column and you take it up, the higher you go up, when you get up around 30 feet, I think he said, I have to get a clarification, but I think that's what he's saying, is you go up 30 feet and you have a water column, that it'll start to boil. Water will start to boil in that column. And
really?
Yeah, that's the initial take I got from him on it. And I have to parse it out more with him. But when he told me that, I've been thinking about it, going, wait a minute. Okay, I know water column with tube and a cylinder, and if you go up, this electricity will start that water to boil. Because that's why he said something about trees that are taller than that. Once you get up there, the disbursement of the water to the very tips is what did he say? It's something about the process, that because of 30 feet and above, that the water temperature will get to a state of boiling. So that kind of stuff. Can you create steam by having a elevated platform, with that kind of a setup where you can just perpetually make steam,
right?
With no power sources.
Right. I like that. That'd be cool too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things out there to get your mind wrapped around, if you can. That'll work. There's been lots of free energy devices developed, and I think there's still plenty of information out there if you've got the acumen to do it, that get those plans and you can build one.
Well, there's this one guy that bought an island, and he had a bunch of plastic washing up on the shores of his island, and so he took that plastic, he made a distillery, and he melts that plastic down and makes diesel fuel for his
for his generator.
Equipment. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just plastic.
There
Just
amazing.
yeah, totally.
All petroleum product.
Right. So why do we have,
Right.
why are all these plastics in the ocean? Why, you can just see the deviousness of it. They can make petroleum out of our plastic,
Right.
and yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting.
There's lots of ways, and I think that our going forward, the right mindset with the the right mentality, we'll get that information. We'll get it. We'll be able to subsidize ourselves through things like that. I think it's
Mhm.
coming.
It is coming.
It has to come because
Right.
that-
We're not going to be able to live. We're
No, the way-
learning. We cannot depend on man.
no.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I've seen that. I watched that Next Level. If y'all hadn't seen it, it is a good.
No, I too.
It's a good flat Earth deal. Hibbler Productions. Hibbler, HIBBLER, Hibbler Productions. Yeah, he with Dave Weiss and all them, they did a really, really good flat Earth movie, and it's one of those deals. Here, I'll share it real quick. Let people see where to go.
Good boy.
Which one is it? Right here. So yeah, guys, I'll let this run for just a minute and.
And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made from the White House.
Challenger, only seconds after leaving the launch pad, according to NASA, has exploded.
It just has the same seats that like a normal car has. It's literally a normal car in space.
We're going back to the moon, back to the future, and this time back to set.
I should tell you that the first mission is scheduled to land on Mars on July the 4th, 1997. We will undertake
Mars, 1997.
extended human missions to the moon as early as 2015.
The spacecraft is part of a re-energized space program that will send American astronauts to Mars.
We will not only plant our flag and leave our footprint for an eventual mission to Mars.
What you're seeing here is a mirage. It is Photoshop, but it's has to be.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So I'll leave it at that. It is a good production, and right there tells you everything you need to know. It hits on all the topics. It hits on them. Everyone we've ever seen, all the tests done for the curvature, every single one. It goes through it, and it goes through it well. They do a good job. Dave Weiss and them, they do a good job of presenting the information. And so, I mean, that's they've done the work. I don't need to. I don't have to go out there and go down rabbit holes and parse stuff out and try and figure it out. I'm done.
Yeah. I
Just
hear
gonna-
you on that one.
I'm just
My
gonna,
thing is I like to I continue because I mean I think that we're all chosen as if you're part of the body of the Messiah, and each body part is different, and each body part has their own path. And I'm definitely one of those that I'm gonna expose the wiles of the devil. I'm gonna be like, who is it? Is it Elijah, or I think it was Elijah? He tells him, go out and speak to the people, and even if they're not listening, go speak to them anyway. And the blood's no longer on your hands. And that's the way I see it, But it does get to the point where you've learned, you got so much information, you need to take a season off.
Right.
And then the Lord will wake you up to another subject. You'll start researching that, and then it'll tie into everything you researched, in the last season, and then somebody will be brought into your life that needs to hear. It might be one person, it might be 12 people, it might be 200. You just never know. So
Yeah,
I like your season thing. Jason helped me to realize, that there are times that you just take your seasons, take a breather. None of this stuff like scares me. None of it causes me anxiety, like, because I know it's prophecy that has to be fulfilled. All these things have to happen, or they're all of it. And the seeing it is it's mind blowing how it can be constructed so perfect.
That's the thing. You can't rush it and you can't force it. If for me, I'm just gonna push my little cart up this hill, and when I get a chance and it's a downhill ride, I'm gonna ride it downhill and enjoy it. And when I gotta push again, I'll push again. But just my
right
gig.
now, you're relaxed.
That's all I can do. Hit it in the fairway. Just keep hitting it in the fairway.
It's a good thing to relax.
That's why I love golf so much. It really is. I mean, it's such a metaphor for life. If you can keep the ball in the fairway, you'll have a pretty good time of it. If you can't, you're going to be in trouble a lot. You're going to be in the weeds, and you're always going to be struggling, and it's just going to be rough. Just relax. Yeah. Put it in the fairway. Alan's getting better. He's practicing hard. He told me when we went and played the other day, he says, I'm not going to play again until I go to the range and get this down. I'm not going to play again. You learn by playing.
Oh, that's awesome. He's learning. That's awesome.
He's getting better. He hasn't never played much.
And y'all are good buddies, so that's a good thing for y'all to do a buddy thing together,
Well, he's funny in the way he's one of those people that if he doesn't get it right away, he gets frustrated.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand why he can't get it right. He understands the process. Why can't I get it right? And he gets frustrated with himself really easy. And we had a few tense moments the other day, to say the least. And one of them was silly. We're on the 9th hole, and he's chipping up on the green, and he knocks it over the green, and he screams, "No!" And I'm like, "Don't do that. Good God, there's people on tee boxes, there's people on greens." I said, "Don't holler like that. Don't scream on the golf course." Oh, I'm sorry. And he got a little upset with me telling him not to scream. But it just echoed, man. I was like,
man, you gotta let Alan be. You gotta let him be Alan, man.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta get it out.
I tell him you can go, but don't go.
He don't give a daggum who's around. By golly, he's busy now.
But it's just, he's learning golf etiquette and things like that.
Golf etiquette. He's learning how to pick up which fork for his salad.
That's right. That. Or don't use a spoon right here. You don't do that. Put that spoon down.
I'm just going to eat with my hands.
No, don't do that. Unless there's nobody else on the course, then you can. But it's fun. It's fun. For me, golf is just one of those deals where, wow, it's about the only way you can just clear your mind completely.
Yeah. You and Jason share that love. I don't share that love.
Yes, but hey, you got your thing. He's got his.
That's right.
And when we, I think when we're able to, like you said, take that season, it's important. It's important. I think too many people get out on that edge and they just push, and they get upset when things don't go right, and they keep pushing, and it's got to go right soon, and it doesn't, and they keep pushing, and take a break.
They forget what they're doing it for. it becomes a job, not a job of enjoyment. They forget that they're doing it for their creator. If you don't take a season off, you can forget that the reason why I'm doing this is to expose the wiles of the devil, to shine the light of Jesus. And happy days, Ash and Tommy. Holly.
Yeah,
Shalom.
a few other people showed up. Like Charles, hadn't seen you in a while.
Charles, shalom. Lee Charles. Edna. Oh, I like the name Edna. That's old school.
Oh,
Bro.
change up.
Change it.
What you talking
What
about?
were you doing
Picture
for?
Alan staying in the moment long enough to play golf. It's hard. It is. That's true. It's hard for him. And he's one of those guys, and I've seen it with lots of people, that he has the information and he says, okay, here's A, B, C, D, and he's got all the way through Z of what it takes to hit a golf ball right. And he just stands there and stands over it and thinking of everything, bash, and it goes, no telling where it's gonna go. And it's like, calm down, slow down. You see the wheels in his head. He's thinking, okay, grip.
Forget everything you've learned. Forget everything you've learned.
Not just relax. Happy Gilmore it, man. Happy Gilmore it. Swing away. But it's a game that will try your patience if you have no patience.
Yeah. So it's working hey, my whole life I was told, don't be praying for patience. No, I would rather pray for patience and have it come to me, no matter how it comes, than not pray for patience and not have it. I want patience. And if you want something, you better pray for it if you want something. And I really think that we should pray for patience. I do. I pray for patience, and I'm telling you, it has worked for me.
I spoke to that before. It's been 20 years ago, and I was listening to a Christian radio station, and this guy's doing a Bible study, and he starts talking about patience. And he says, well, for me, he says the best way to convey the patience thing is what Billy Graham had said. And Billy Graham was asked about it, and he said, well, I get a lot of letters, and I get a lot of people saying, pray for me for patience. Pray for me. I need patience. And he said, I tell everybody the same thing. He says, God does not grant patience. He gives you opportunities to practice it, but he will not grant it. It's a learned thing. You have to be patient. You have to learn it. You have to recognize situations where you go, step back. I could lose my shit here, but I'm not gonna. And for me, it started with just driving road rage. Somebody cut me off. Yeah, mother, cuss at them. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it. Just be patient. Standing in line where somebody's writing a check and you've got one item and they got 50, be patient. Just smile and be patient. And I started seeing opportunities everywhere to just be patient. Right here's a good one, because you could sure get upset, but here it is. God keeps presenting these things, and it just, for me, over years and years now, I see those opportunities coming way ahead, and just relax.
That's a good way to look at it. It's interesting how the two different ways, because I was an extremely impatient person, and now it's just the exact opposite. But it's amazing the two ways that two different ways that we were taught. That the Holy Spirit taught us, how to have patience. Mine was constant prayer on it, and yours was just realizing that, oh, wait a minute, this is an opportunity to practice patience, like to get, and that's interesting. That's very interesting.
And many times, and it happens in grocery lines all the time, where the people around you can see them getting impatient. And I'd be in those situations, and I'd just kind of laugh and go, it's kind of hard to be patient in these situations, isn't it? And I would tell them that story. I would say, God doesn't grant patience. He gives us these opportunities to practice it. And they're like, well, yeah. I said, there's nothing we can do but get aggravated or just relax and take our time, let it happen. Nothing we can do.
It's happening.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at things. It's happening. This is happening right now. There's nothing I can change about it. It's no matter how I think, how I grunt, how I huff, it's not going to change. This is happening right now, and I can just deal with it and accept it, or I can grumble and grunt and complain and make my day worse just because of me not having the acceptance that this is happening.
Right. And that's the thing for me. So many people ruin their day right off the bat. You know, pull out of the driveway, get to the first red light, and boom, it gets ruined right off the bat. And
the whole day.
Yeah, their whole day gone. Yeah. And you know, what do? You gotta, you know, if you don't want to be patient, if you like to get angry, if you like to, you know, feel that way, okay. Otherwise, you can recognize the situation and go, all right.
Right, accept it. Accept that this is happening, and just
no
go on.
reason.
You know it's gonna happen. 90% of the things that happen, you know that, you know, if you're gonna be in traffic every morning, you've done this every morning. This has happened. Like, you know it's coming. This is the way it's gonna be. Boom. Do it. You know, accept it and be joyful while you're doing it. You know that you're gonna go the line. You see a bunch of people, cars parked in the parking lot. You know that it's gonna be busy in there. You know you're going to have to stand in this line. Accept it already. Go ahead and accept it in your mind. All right, I'm going to be in this line for a while. Boom. Joy instead of sadness.
You know, and that comment, y'all, that he's glad he didn't have a 9-to-5. I was so glad that my job was not a 9-to-5er. I was able to, when I walked in the door, hit the ground running, go in, boom, 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 work, turn around, get out of there when I'm done. You know, there's no 9-to-5. It's start to finish. You know,
I've had to do 9-to-5, and now I do what you're talking about. I like you do it, start your job, you finish it, go home. You know, like, dude, that's it.
But the monotony of a 9-to-5 job is a killer. I never had any monotony. That was great. Adrenaline pumping every day, baby. Every day.
Define a monotony.
Monotony, just nothing happening, just slow, tedious, uneventful, uninspiring.
Same movements, same place of standing, same. Yeah, I got you. Right.
Not my world, baby.
Just
morbid. Looking at a brain first thing, then a spine the next thing, and then doing a breast job next. You know,
yeah.
My days were adrenaline pumping, and I found out real quick when I quit scrubbing, how addicting that adrenaline pump was every day. That was tough to get past, man. Not having anything to get that going.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I was at a church one time, and they were giving a sermon on the book of Hosea. And I thought it was interesting. I totally disagree with 90% of what they were saying, but this one part was interesting because he was talking about retired people, and he said like over 70% of retired people, after they retire, 2 years after they retire, they die. You know, and that makes sense to me because, you know, I work with a lot of older folks, and I really love working with some older folks. But they get because their whole life they've done these certain things, these movements, and these repetitive movements, and they've constantly had their hands going, their brain working, had their stuff set, and then all of a sudden they're not moving every day. Like, what's their purpose in life? Their whole purpose was their job, you know, what they did every day. And it's just, I can see where it would bring I see it all the time. It brings ones to major depression, hurt, because they feel like a burden on others because they can't do it themselves, and they've always done it themselves. You know, that's why when we're younger, you know, like ones my age or even younger, like we really need to start accepting ones that want to help us, give a helping hand, no matter if it's to carry the groceries in, or if it's to, you know, here, let me push that mower for you for a minute, you know, or let me help you with anything except the help. Because when we get older, it's going to get to where someone's going to have to help us. And we don't, I don't want to be that. I don't want to feel like I'm a burden. I don't want Satan's lies upon me, because I've done my due diligence. I've served people. And so therefore I have a right to be served when I get old, you know?
Yeah.
And it's ugly, everyone.
That's the problem we're having with my parents right now. My brother's there and he's taking their keys and stuff. And they had a dust up last week because I have an aunt that lives out there and she borrows their Toyota Sequoia now and then, their SUV. And she borrowed it. My brother told her, bring the keys to me when you're done. Don't leave the keys with them. Because my dad's got the dementia and he still wants to drive and he can't. And so she does. Well, my dad calls her and she does the dumbest thing. He says, where are my keys? She says, oh, I don't know. I hope I didn't lose them. And what does he do? He goes off. He just loses his shit on her. He's cussing her, calling her everything but a white woman and telling her she'll never borrow his shit again. Just loses his shit, right? So she calls my brother and tells him, he's like, you know, first off, why don't you just tell him you gave them to me? She's like, well, I panicked. I didn't know what to say, you know, and so he has to deal with that with my parents. And I tried to tell him, I'm like, look, everybody comes to the point in life where they're back to like they were when they were a baby and a kid. They have to have help. You just have to. If without help, you're not gonna do well. So you have to have help at some point, and understanding and accepting that help that's half the battle. If you're not going to accept it, there's nothing we can do for you. And you're just going to get more and more frustrated, and you're going to probably end up hurting yourself. You're going to fall, you have a car wreck, something will happen, and then you'll need total care. So if you'll just allow us to give you minute care along the way, we won't have to worry about those situations. It won't come up. And it's just hard for people to accept that, okay, I'm at that point. Right. And I've told my wife and kids, look, if I get to that point, I'm going to do my best to accept that I can't do this for myself anymore. If I argue with you, if I don't want to accept it right away, understand it's not that I'm just trying to get a grip on it. But I'm going to try not to be that way with you.
That's a good one.
You know, it's hard.
Yeah,
I don't know when your mind is
going. Growing up, my whole life, I hear women around me and they talk about how they didn't want to get, oh, I got a gray hair, and pull it out and stuff. And I remember being a teenager and already setting it in my mind, because I was in all those foster homes and I heard all these women and that was just their main complaint. And I always had the thought process of, we're going to get old. We're going to get old. We're going to get gray hair, And so now when I was a teenager, I remember setting in my mind, accepting that I'm going to get old. Like it's going to happen, And so I don't have those problems. If I find a gray hair, it doesn't faze me, It doesn't faze me getting older. I don't worry about somebody asks me about my age. I ain't telling you. No, I'll tell you my age. Like
I was great. I was great by the time I was 35.
That's awesome. Right. You, Jason, too. Yeah.
I never looked at gray as being old. It's just my hair color.
Right. It's just your hair color. Right. Now you are at your prime of life. Your gray hair is your wisdom.
I wouldn't say that.
You're at the prime of your life, son.
My hair may be in its prime. How about that?
What you said. I seen y'all's Will Soren, and he was asking about Elijah in Africa, and they're doing all right. His wife is fixing to pop, and him and his children and his wife didn't get sick, but him and his children, his two little girls, they ended up sick, and praise Jesus, they found a hospital that would take them in because they don't have insurance, because they won't comply to the national identification number, so they won't comply to it, so they don't have insurance. They can't apply for insurance. So either way, but they're doing better, and they've got a little place to stay at the moment, but who knows how long that'll be. We want to try to get them up enough money where they can get them a little house, That's what we're going to do. All of us, anyone that will help, because we know, freaking out, calling and telling us he's a terrorist. Man, you telling somebody that, boy, I'm gonna send you more money. Like, come on, don't tell. I know what their deal is. They're liars from the pit of hell, and they're just trying to hurt people.
Y'all, I was blonde headed up until high school, and it started going kind of brownish, light brown. But yeah, I guess any color can go gray.
Yeah, I guess so. Right. Well, what does the word say? It says when you're young, it's your strength, and when you're old, it's your gray hair, your wisdom. And it don't say old, but I totally paraphrased.
Oh. See how you label me, Ashley?
Hey man, I changed it to help the heart.
No labels.
No labels.
It's my body, my choice, which this whole video started about. With the Roe v. Wade deal coming up, and their whole mantra forever and ever, my body, my choice, is such BS. That is just furthest thing from what they mean. They don't mean, hey, your body, your choice, Ashley, you choose for you. No, you choose the way I want you to choose, or you don't get to choose. It's not my body, my choice. It's your body, my choice. It's always been on that level. Your body, your life, our choice. We line out your parameters, and I'm tired of that. I'm gonna try and stay out of their zones anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't have to abide by their policies and their procedures and their statutes and their ordinances, and this is my body, my choice. I choose not to participate in your realm. I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm done. Got no reasons. What's that country song? Got no reason now for going home. Got no reason now to deal with you people. Arm's length and further the rest of my life. I'm gonna get further and further away from it. I gotta put my ice packs in the tree.
It's my body, my choice. Yeah, there is no choice. They're trying to set it, with the AI for, they already got it to the point where you think in your mind that the doctor makes the medical choices for you. They've already had us programmed. They've programmed us already, to go to doctors and to and we were thinking about I was talking about westerns. I was talking yesterday, and I was talking about how in the westerns you don't see them going through the woods and stuff unless it's Indians. You don't see them going through the woods and getting plants and whatnot, to heal the wound. You see them saying, "Oh, let's go find the next town and take it to the town doctor."
Find a doctor. Y'all got a doctor. Need a doctor.
Right, all this programming, and
hey, read the screen there. Why don't you put your old address in the chat so people can mail y'all some monies?
Oh, I wonder if can I do that?
Put it in the chat over here. Just type it in the chat.
Oh, I can't. Okay, I got you.
You can't type in the chat?
No, because I'm on my phone.
You can still type in the chat. Can't you?
But because I'm not look. I have a dinosaur phone. I'm not one of these high-tech ninjas like y'all with all this.
You don't have to be a high-tech ninja. Just the video's up. Click on the chat and type in the chat.
But now I'm on the computer in the chat.
Okay. There we go.
I love you, brother.
You're not computer savvy.
Only in my own way. Only in my own way am I computer savvy. That is it. There's no other 371.
You've done a solo mission, therefore you learned on your own. That's the way I learned computers. I learned on my own. I remember one of my early computers we had gotten. I started searching and looking how to do it, and I added some RAM to it. I took that sucker apart and figured out how to. Went and got a RAM chip and added some more RAM to it, and I was so proud of myself. I thought I was a computer engineer after that. You
Right.
know?
Right. Right. I
Are you
know.
gonna-
And you know,
Are you
when I
gonna
was
put
younger,
that in the chat or not, or did you put it in the comments?
did I put it in the chat? I swear I put it in the
Put it in
chat.
the comments. Yeah, it's not on the chat. You put it in the comments.
Chat. No, it says I put it in the chat.
I don't see it. Or did you put it in the private chat? No. I don't see it here.
Jeez Louise, my phone is blown up. Town Road. Well, I'm gonna do it again because I can see it on my screen. It says top chat, or it says chat and road.
No, I've got it up too. I don't see it. Y'all is sitting there saying he has your phone number. Just text it to him.
Yeah,
If you can't do it, he said y'all have each other's numbers.
we do. He's right. We do. We should do that. He sent me Alan's video the other day. I guess he was showing me that Alan's back up and running again.
Right. He must be up there watching because he hadn't come down yet this morning.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him yet. Shut up.
Alan.
Speaking
Man,
of, we're an hour
nice.
and 42 minutes in, Ash. We've been going at it.
All right, dude.
It's fun when you got good company.
Yeah, dude, it is.
All right, everybody. Y'all be cool. Good vibrations. Good discernment. Love you all. Later,
Love
guys.
y'all. Love.